Hello, everybody. So we're doing things a little bit differently. We're looking at guiding messages for the week ahead, and it's just because of the way things are going. Honestly, from what I'm seeing, what I'm sensing, what I'm feeling in my own journey, what's been kind of replaying here is the energy of the tower. And essentially what we're looking at is when things shake loose and break loose in our own journey, where does it take us to? Because anytime structure falls, right? Anytime something shifts, something completes as a part of the process, especially like on planet Earth, right? So let's look at an Earth wake-up call, like an Earth shake. When the Earth shakes our foundations, it always can, no, not always, but for most of us, it causes us to look into the rebuild. It causes us to look into the movement, and it causes us to look into our own natural migration. So there's a pattern here, and the pattern is that which dismantles creates movement, and that movement takes us somewhere. Now, this further aligns our trajectories into what wake-up calls are in our own journey. So obviously, in the micro and the macro, the tower is always seen as a moment of something fails within us. Now, the failure here is actually a part of a purification. It's a part of what we call the dismantling. Within this, it's something breaking loose, right? Just like if we were to go turn some soil, right? Turn some soil, we break the soil loose. Why? It provides oxygenation. It provides aeration. It provides space. There's so much here in global expansion that is from what the tower is. So this kind of energy is the thing that catalyzes movement. It catalyzes us to pack up and to move onward. So basically, this week is saying that which deconstructs catalyzes movement. Okay? It catalyzes movement towards. So it's away from the shakeup and towards a really good energy. We're moving towards our own personal space, our own personal mastery, and our own focus. The energy of the Eight of Pentacles is your passion project. It's the thing you care about. It's the thing that inspires you. It's the thing that you focus on. So there's something in your life that you can focus on this week when things dismantle. The redirection is back inward and back towards that thing that you do that's a part of your earthly resources. Your job, your personal project, everything of Eight of Pentacles is where you put your focus and energy into. So when you deconstruct and you move towards, this is moving toward the foundation, right, of your passion, of your mastery, of your own resources, the things that really matter to you. Now, the flow of this current is also within this space of art creation, our personal alchemy. It's where we source our inspiration. And so as the deconstruction on all levels of our journey, now here's what I want to state. This tower doesn't have to just be a singular moment. Since it does in this phase of transition sit in the past, there might be for some of you, for some of us, an echo or a reverb. Something that's happened over multiple existences or experiences that's a part of what this kind of central tower foundation is. That guides us towards our focus. The dissolution of the distraction to get into our focus. Now, this focus here, that's really interesting, is her source of inspiration. She sits at the table with all of her resources, all of her tools, and all of her focus. But where is her attention focusing on? She's sourcing intention and inspiration from that which has completed, from her own journey, from her own past. So something about her is honoring her continuing alchemy of taking her hardship and focusing it into his or her hardship, focusing it into things that matter, that inspire. This source of inspiration is a part of the cycles that they commit to, which is the ebbs and flows of experience. So something within this space has us kind of sitting and brewing on potential. The brewing on potential is where we begin to rise above the Seven of Wands with the Eight of Pentacles, rising above the hardship, the things that led us to. In parts of the journey within ourself that got us to where we're at within our own creation, it feels like that reflect and review, but not to stay there, but where we need to still alchemize some sort of walking away and walking towards that's been a part of the greater, ascension pathway, which is things no longer work, they collapse, we move, they collapse, they move. It's cycles of chapters closing. But there's something within those chapters closing that's actually lightening up and providing a focus point on what this kind of rise up energy is. So essentially, there is an evolutionary mastery that's occurring in our own journey, especially in regards to our own creation, especially in regards to our own focus. This whole year has been about authenticity. It's all been about like those things that no longer serve, getting closer and closer to our ideals and goals. And sometimes I know for myself, this kind of like Phoenix energy can really be a lot, especially when it's focused more on the death and the collapse than it is on the rise up. So there's still alchemy in process. And I recognize that sometimes the alchemy feels like we get one, it's like kind of like this. It's like we go up and we go a little bit lower. We go a little bit higher and a little bit lower, a little bit and it's like, is there ever going to be elevation or evolution here? Because of how sludgy it can be. Well, the thing is to honor what this is right now in the fine tuning and the fine dialing for all of us here on planet Earth is all in temperance. It's all in balance. It's balance, work, and play. It's balancing rest and restoration. It's when to go, when to do, when to be. And that's because all of these collapses have kind of stacked on us. All of these catalysts have stacked on our energy body, on our mind, on our field, on our emotions. And as a result, there might be some distractions still at play that still play into this energy or this tendency that we're trying to get out of. 10 of Wands can be a very, we gotta walk alone, do it alone, walk away from everybody. And as a result, it might make us feel very stuck because we're still processing out some of this energy. So the universe is saying, please be gentle with yourself and go into moderation. Temperance is step into your sense of balance within you, right? Do less, do more. Play a little bit more. Ask, receive, give. There is this sense of knowing from within you how to temper your losses and to focus on what creates elevation. So we're essentially saying, do we shift focus outside of density and look into lightness of our being and what helps us to propagate, right, that more new human focus outside of what the old human design, old human life path was. So no doubt about it, I mean, it was pre-shuffle, Tower came up. Tower came up with a really big spread, and it was showing this dismantling occurring. And it's, as light or as intense as it might be, it's still, it's course correction, right? It's the universe comes in and it does what it needs to do so we can create movement, because we recognize there's a greater plan, right? There's a greater plan, a greater path, especially when we trust God. When we trust God, when we trust Gaia, when we trust Source, when we trust everything, we know that there's a greater pathway and plan. So the Tower is helping us to get out of our own way because it creates that movement. Now, when the Tower shows up twice, obviously there's a highlight on what this is, right? It is Phoenix energy. It is also that thing that shows us that which no longer serves. We're looking at the cracks in our foundations. We're looking at where we need to ease up on ourselves. We need to look at where we need to be a lot more kinder, gentler with others. We're basically looking at and approaching this from a space that this is what's creating movement in our journey. This is what's bringing us closer to unity. These are the things that are getting us closer to our goal. It's kind of like the universe is saying, get the distractions out of the way and get to the table and that which inspires you. Because that which inspires you, that which you could focus on, that's a part of your personal creation, that's a part of your personal mastery that creates levity here, is a part of your own alchemy. So in your own personal journey, you have some sort of alchemy from within you that helps you to rise up, that helps you to stabilize, that helps you to understand what the higher field is and what the higher vibrational route is to your journey. It's the thing that helps you feel safe and focused on your journey just outside of collapse. So this is kind of like the trajectory that gets you into your own bubble of light. It's the thing that gets you into your own sacred space. It's the thing that helps you to really like get the distraction and the noise out of the way so you can really focus on what you're here to accomplish, what you're here to do, what you're here to build, and what you're here to master in your own journey. Okay. And so how we can go about this is just embodying a sense of temperance in our day-to-day, right? Moderation on all levels of our being, because this is mind, body, and soul temperance, right? And so with mind, I look at what do we focus on, right? The things that help us to feel resourceful, right? The things that help us to focus on our career, on our goals, on our passions, and that create levity. On that emotional level, right? How can we go have fun and have joy, right? How can we like start getting into togetherness? What helps you to focus and feel like, is there a routine, something you can do to feel good that when you're at the table and you are reflecting, right? And I say at the table of your own journey. It's kind of funny because I'm sitting here at the table of your own journey, and you're looking at your source of inspiration, your own internal mastery, and your levity. It's like, what is going to bring that temperance? And then at a soul level, right? At a spiritual level, what is it that you can afford to do to kind of receive back this levity and lightness in your journey? It's a space of going in and reflecting. It is a highlight focus of this week that things are guiding us to better spaces. It's kind of like getting our timelines and pathways to a space where we can focus on getting done what we need to get done here on our journey, whatever that is for you. A part of ascension here is motivating ourselves to get to that space where we can really feel like we're honoring our skills, our gifts, our purpose, our journey, whether that's a normal human thing or it's a light worker mission. I know for myself, we all have our own gifts and abilities, and the thing that really ignite passion and authenticity in our journey, and I trust that that's going to show up for you exactly as it needs to. It doesn't have to look like mine. It doesn't have to look like theirs. It doesn't have to look like theirs. It's your own personal focus. Once again, this is getting out of the way, the clutter, mind, body, soul, so we can focus on what this new start, this new direction is. Because 10 of Wands, it is an energy of saying that there are things wrapping up and finalizing. We just need to be okay with it. There's a great acceptance that when we get to the seat in our sacred space and we get back to that space of focus, we are going to rise up. So it does kind of want to have some hope and inspiration that this is leading us to better places. And temperance is that sense of balance and moderation in our own journey to kind of temper what was, clear out that word temper what was, right? So we can find a place to get in that space of focus where we can definitely rise up into the new experience, rising up into the new experience. This is the thing that takes us back to spirit. It takes us back to source. It takes us back to soul. It's the thing that helps us to really get out of the way and get back to soul. And I want to state that because when I see the angel at his back with temperance, and I see how he is perceived at flesh level and then perceived at the soul level, there's a divine quality of life and a divine quality of light that he admits in the middle path. So in this space is a space of remembering your oneness, your neutrality, your cosmic experience, but remembering the soul. Whether this is a feeling space, a knowing space, or inspirational space, there's a knowing of the soul and the soul's alchemy that's a part of this experience. A lot of this too is to make sure that we rise above the past. Because if we look at her focus, sourcing her inspiration from past events, past experiences, but then we see everything's like focusing on the past. There's something now that can no longer get you down because you wrapped up the lessons. 10 of Wands means that there has been some sort of creation cycle that's left its minor arcana ranges, right? And it's moving into a new cycle, because the precipice of the 10 of Wands, once we reach that completion, it moves right into the page. And what's really cool about the energy of the page is the youthful inspiration of mastering something within our own experience. Because when we get out of the pursuit of the older minor arcana and we step into what the royal cycle is within our journey, it's obviously something that inspires us to get to that knight, queen, king era, which means that we're really fine-tuning into our passions. We're fine-tuning into our fire. We're fine-tuning our craft. We're fine-tuning our soul. So there's something here that is a part of this authentic fine-tuning at a creator and creative level for us that inspires our focus on the things that matter, and to kind of, in a sense, accept the journey, accept the reconstruction, accept the catalyst, accept the movement, because of where it's guiding us. And I state that because at some level, we might be feeling a little guarded, okay, about the things that occurred in the past because of what we've had to go through. Like when we look at 10 of Wands can sometimes be an energy of exile. It can be an energy of having to walk away from our city, walk away from our friends, walk away from our town, walk away from our partners, and feeling like the walk is alone. Now, the walk of aloneness is also the strength of rebuilding, which is we don't want to, I know in a space of unity, we don't want to isolate. We don't want to find aloneness. But 7 of Wands also has kind of a protector energy. But it's a space that, once again, it focuses on internal light because it's a part of the internal study and the rebuild. And when we start to step into the royal wands in our own journey and the courtship of the wands, we're starting to recognize that there's something that's completed that we no longer have to play within, especially in regards to suffering. But Temperance wants us to just focus on the balance this week, right? Focus on the fact that things are still processing out, but there's things that you can do. Play a little bit more, have a little bit more fun, go for a walk. Essentially, if you just kind of focus at the heart-centered level on just the word temperance alone, knowing that there's within your soul is the awareness of what temperance brings, okay? Without having to go into studying the formal traditions of reading cards, and just note that the essence of temperance and balance in your own journey can be available through sustainable qualities of life. What does that look like for you? Because you now begin redefining your life path based upon that, which means we start to create that room. Okay. So this week is about get into that heart and just kind of imagine the key of temperance in your own heart, right? And I do this too. What I do is I imagine the keys through the words, right, in my own heart. So imagine in your heart, available from within you is the energy of temperance. What is it in your creator life cycles, your personal resources, your own mastery, your own skill sets and gifts that provides temperance in your own journey? And then fill in the details, which is really wonderful because then the power is not another's to provide that for you, but you can take leadership in your own journey. Okay. This is us finding out where our true guardians are, so we can feel like we can lift off in a new journey. The thinking mind acts like it's everything, but it's not. So there's a sense of humility here. There's a sense of mind humility, mental humility to come back into the heart space. And this too is focusing on the body. It's focusing on the fact that there are parts of self that we cannot ignore in our journey, which could be a part of what this tower is. And I do believe that within this space is where we start to source some new inspiration. So it's no longer just about the mental inspiration, but we've got aspects of ourselves within the physical body, and I'm hearing In and Through the Body by Trevor Hall, that are a part of this experience. I'm going to read from the book here. Of course, the mind believes thinking is the solution to everything. It's the only thing it knows. Wipe the chalkboard that is your mind. Use your body to move around, run, dance, jump, act ridiculous. You are in a powerful vehicle that moves by sheer will. Ten of Wands does speak about the physical act of walking. Like if we see, she is walking. She's walking with all of her belongings. She's kind of a part of that natural pilgrimage and migration that occurs in the Tower card. So this is about, even though there is soul and passion available here, this physical walk is guiding you to your safe space and your sacred space to focus. So this is about getting the body moving. Whatever we're moving through, it is about the body, but not just about the mind. And sometimes, right, what I think too is, and I go through this, things happen. In our day-to-day journey, the universe brings in something, and we start getting the physical body moving. And we start sourcing some inspiration from that, right? It's solutions found out in nature, out in Gaia, but also it's a part of processing out the energies from what this was or what this is. Remember in the beginning we spoke about an earth shakeup? Well, imagine, the earth grids needing to go through an alchemy or transformation in our own physical body, because we are a part of this everything. Right? And a part of this is the physical vehicle moving is going to provide some sort of alleviation and process in this journey. Focus is for this week from Starlight with the Temperance here. I think the other thing too, and I said I think, is be okay not knowing everything. The humble heart. The humble heart serves its source. The humble heart serves its source. Wow. Yeah. This is really cool. I like that. The humble heart serves its source. The moon. Take time to reflect. So, it really does make sense why this Eight of Pentacles has so much focus on backwards, because we're still processing what these events are. We're still processing the Tower. So this week, as we're processing the Tower, is, a part of our own temperance is being able to reflect. Getting answers from the past, right? Making peace with things, rising above. But doing it in a way that's a part of your own inner alchemy. Is this like, this could be painting, it could be writing, journaling. There's so much in this Eight of Pentacles that's a part of where you get back to your safe space and your rise above energy. But it would make sense that with temperance, okay, our own ability to take time to reflect and to alchemize helps us to actually process what this is in your own journey. Not think your way, but feel your way. We have no cups on the table, but essentially we're stating that there's a part of deconstruction, the soul, and the physical reality that requires us to reflect and to process. When I look at temperance and I look at the moon, there's something about this quality of life that's helping us to reflect on what the moon represents. The moon naturally sparks water, it sparks unconsciousness, but she's also a very deep feeler. For some of us, the Scorpio full moon brought up something, and we're still kind of working through the layers of deconstruction, but it is moving us into an inspired space. But the more we walk away from, the more we walk towards, our ability to see the light at the end of the table, to see our own mastery, but to almost take time to take that journey of walking away and inspire it into some sort of creative passion, right? Poetry, music, songs, journaling, art. But processing this reflection is really important this week. It's actually a part of your solution. So be okay walking away from that which no longer serves. Be okay finalizing chapters of your experience. Be okay walking towards. Be okay with life's natural migration patterns that happens with magnetic influxes. It happens with seasonal changes. You know, when we're one with Gaia, which we all are, birds, animals go through these natural patterns as well. So the universe is saying, be okay walking away from the collapse. Be okay walking away from the situation, and be okay getting to that space where you're back at your own personal altar of your own divine realms, your own inspiration. It's almost like back in your own office, getting back to your own table and reflecting and allowing what occurred to be a part of natural alchemy and inspiration that gives you an opportunity to process what this is. Because you're sourcing your experience not from the mind, but from the physical body. Your body is still processing out what this is. So as it's processing and it's purging and it's reaching its completion, be okay in your own sense of temperance and reflection on what the moon represents. So the moon is very much so representing not only our feeling space, but deepening our intuition. And so we're getting the chapters really back into kind of like here. Inward and outward. So it's like as we focus in and we expand out, we're creating space in our own living creation to become a sacred creator again. This whole thing is about you being a sacred creator, a creator being in a body. And being a creator being is recognizing that your body has a natural state of processing, alchemy, transmutation, transfiguration. But it also has its own needs in its journey. The things that create lightness, levity, love, evolution. And as a result, this is the thing that cleans up the process so you can honor your understanding of the worlds that you've been a part of, right? Because the thing about the temperance too is it's this multiple world, multiple celestial kind of experience, which could be a natural part of our astrology. It can be a part of our cosmic conditioning. It could be a part of our star code. It could be a part of our lineages, our own multidimensionality, archetypally. So as a result, it's kind of like we're in this process of multiples, right? And it can be a lot on the form. But you're not here to theorize your way to this. The solution is in offering the time for the temple, the form, the body, to create that space to get everything back together and go, where do I go from here? What is it that I focus on that helps me to evolve? What creates lightness in my journey? What creates that sacred space from within me? Because the Eight of Pentacles is all about you and what you're here to build, what you're here to do. It's a part of your day-to-day. Eight of Pentacles is your own personal mastery. Now, it doesn't have to be built upon the mastery of what was. Let's look at it as the thing you're really good at, the thing you're here to do, the thing you're here to accomplish. Whether it's your day-to-day job, whether it's your actual like entrepreneurship career, it's everything of the earthly realms that you can put your focus and energy to that helps you to rise up again and again and again and again and again. Right? It's the thing that gets you back to Logos. It's the thing that gets you back into your own lightness. And it's the thing that when you are doing it, it is a natural form of temperance. It is a solution. So reflect on what was to create room for the solution, and then recognize that the true quality of life path that you can represent for yourself this week is the thing that provides more opportunities, sustainable growth. It provides levity, but it also provides the container for solution-focused alchemy. So in a world of problem experiences and problem journeys, you're getting into solutions. And the more that we as a society can focus on solutions, you want to know what happens? We create more opportunities for more solutions to arise. So family, as creator beings, this week, let's focus on the solution. Let's reflect, let's alchemize, but let's start providing our own sense of temperance in our own journey. And be okay getting good at the things that really matter to you, the things that provide that lightness of levity, and get out of your own way. Back to the body, back to the physical, back to the form, back to the space of what the body needs in this journey. And be okay getting up and having fun. Okay? I love you guys. Much love and respect to all of you out there. Thank you for your likes, shares, and subscribes. Thrive. There's enough space for the moon and her stars not to tear each other down. I'll leave it there.